She woke up before the sun every morning. Not because she wanted to, but because she always had. The house was quiet. Not peaceful quiet. The kind of quiet that feels heavy, like something's missing. Her name was Amina. And once, a long time ago, she was the center of someone's world. Now, she was just a name saved in a phone. One that no one seemed to tap anymore. There's a kind of pain that doesn't yell. It doesn't cry out loud. It just sits in your chest and grows. Day after day, Amina carried that pain while making tea for people who weren't there. While setting plates she didn't need. While checking her phone even though she already knew the answer. No calls. No messages. Just silence. She used to say, a mother doesn't stop being a mother. Just because her children stop coming home. But what she never said out loud was this. Sometimes love keeps going, even when it's no longer returned. Before the silence, Amina wasn't always tired. She wasn't always quiet. There was a time she laughed easily. A time when her hands didn't shake. A time when she believed love always came back. She got married young. Life wasn't perfect, but it was manageable. Then one night, everything fell apart. Her husband collapsed. A heart attack. No warning. No second chance. Just like that, he was gone. And Amina was left standing in the middle of her living room, with two small boys holding onto her dress, asking questions she didn't know how to answer. That night, after everyone left, after the crying stopped, after the house went quiet, she made a promise to herself. I'll be both mom and dad. They'll never feel alone. Not on my watch. She didn't know that promise would cost her everything. Raising sons with empty hands. Life didn't slow down for her grief. Bills still showed up. Food still needed to be cooked. School fees still needed to be paid. So she worked. Anywhere that would hire her. Cleaning houses. Sewing late into the night. Skipping meals so her boys wouldn't have to. Her hands grew rough. Her back ached constantly. But when her son smiled, it felt worth it. Every birthday, homemade cake. Every school event, front row, even if she arrived on foot. Every scraped knee, her arms were there. People used to tell her, you're doing too much. They'll grow up and leave someday. She'd smile and say, that's fine. As long as they leave happy. A love that never held back. She raised them with love, not fear. She forgave mistakes quickly. Protected them from consequences. Defended them even when they were wrong. Somewhere along the way, she confused unconditional love with disappearing. She never taught them that mothers get tired too. That mothers need care. That mothers can feel lonely. She taught them how to fly, but forgot to teach them how to look back. Time moves fast, too fast. The boys grew tall. Their voices changed. Their dreams got bigger. College. Careers. Plans far beyond her small living room. And Amina? She grew older quietly. Gray hair showed up without asking. Her knees started hurting on stairs. Her energy slowly faded. But she kept going. Because that's what moms do. Then came the weddings. Music. Lights. Smiles. Amina stood off to the side, watching her sons start new lives. Her heart was full. She whispered to herself, I did it. They're settled now. She didn't realize something else was ending that day. When distance starts small. At first, nothing felt wrong. They called regularly. Visited sometimes. Everything felt normal. Then life got busy. Calls turned shorter. Visits became rare. Messages got delayed. Amina told herself, this is normal. They're building their lives. She defended them, even in her own head. But days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. And slowly, she stopped being part of their routine. The phone that never rang. She started keeping her phone close. On the table. In her pocket. Right beside her pillow at night. Every vibration made her heart jump. Most of the time, it was nothing. Spam calls. Bill alerts. Notifications that meant nothing. She still checked every time. Hope is stubborn like that. End of part 1, cliffhanger. One evening, while cleaning the house, Amina suddenly felt dizzy. The room spun. Her legs gave out. She woke up on the floor, cold and confused. Alone. No one knew. No one was coming. As she stared at the ceiling, one thought broke her completely. If I died tonight, how long would it take for them to notice? That question stayed with her. And this was only the beginning. Amina didn't tell anyone about the night she collapsed. Not her neighbors. Not her sons. She told herself it was nothing. Just exhaustion. Just age catching up. That's what mothers do. They minimize their pain so others don't feel guilty. The body starts warning her. Mornings became harder. Her hands shook when she poured tea. Her knees protested every step. Sometimes her vision blurred for a few seconds. Long enough to scare her. She finally went to the doctor. The doctor didn't sugarcoat it. Your blood pressure is high. You're stressed. And you shouldn't be living alone. Amina nodded politely. Then came the question she feared. Do you have family we can contact? She hesitated. Just for a second. Yes, she said softly. My sons. The doctor smiled. Good. Bring them in. You shouldn't be handling this alone. Amina didn't say anything. Because she already knew. Bringing them in wasn't that simple anymore. Calls that never really connect. That afternoon, she tried calling the older one. Ring. Ring. Voicemail. She tried again later. No answer. She texted instead. Hey Beta, not feeling well today. Just wanted to hear your voice. Seen. No reply. She stared at the screen longer than she should have. Not angry. Not surprised. Just tired. She tried the younger one the next day. Busy. Always busy. She didn't leave a message this time. She didn't want to sound needy. The silent agreement she never made. Amina slowly stopped reaching out. Not because she didn't want to talk, but because every unanswered call felt like rejection. And rejection hurts more when it comes from the people you gave everything to. So she told herself, if they remember me, they'll call. That thought became her daily prayer. Days that all look the same. Her routine shrank. Wake up. Make tea. Sit by the window. Watch people pass by. Families. Mothers holding kids' hands. Sons laughing with their parents. She wondered when she became invisible. She still cooked full meals. Out of habit. Out of hope. Sometimes she packed food in containers, thinking, maybe they'll stop by. They didn't. Daughters-in-law who slowly disappeared. In the beginning, her daughters-in-law were polite. They smiled. They checked in. Then life got busy. Kids. Jobs. Responsibilities. Excuses replaced visits. Eventually, even the excuses stopped. Amina never complained. Not once. She didn't want to be that mother. The one people talk about behind closed doors. So she swallowed her feelings. And called it patience. When a mother starts blaming herself, nights were the worst. That's when the thoughts came. Maybe I spoiled them. Maybe I asked for too little. Maybe I mattered more when I was useful. She replayed her entire life in her head. Every sacrifice. Every choice. And somehow, she still found a way to blame herself. Aging feels different when you're forgotten. Her neighbors checked in more than her sons did. One of them asked casually, haven't seen your boys in a while. Amina smiled. They're busy. That's a good thing. She said it so often, she almost believed it. A box full of memories. One afternoon, she opened an old storage box. Inside were school certificates, childhood photos, handmade cards. One card read, "Best mom ever." She laughed, then cried. Because once upon a time, she really was. That night, Amina made a quiet decision. She placed her phone face down on the table. No more calling first. No more reminders. If I matter, they'll reach out. It sounded strong. But deep down, it was a mother choosing silence. Because she couldn't survive another unanswered call. And, from that moment on, waiting became her full-time job. The house felt emptier than ever. Rooms echoed differently now. Even the laughter of the TV sounded hollow. Amina wandered through her own home, touching familiar walls, hoping maybe, just maybe, one of her sons would walk through that door. They didn't. The world moves on without you. Her older son was busy. Big career. New apartment. Girlfriend. Calls came shorter and shorter. Sometimes just a one-word reply. Busy. Her younger son? Same story. except with kids now. So busy had a tiny human voice crying in the background. She watched the calendar. Birthdays. Holidays. Empty. She stopped expecting anything. Yet still, deep down, she hoped. Daughters-in-law and distance. It started with polite visits. A cup of tea. Some small talk. Then came excuses. Too tired. Next weekend. Can't make it. Weeks passed. Weeks turned into months. And eventually, the visits stopped entirely. Amina stopped trying to enforce them. She smiled anyway, even when no one smiled back. When love feels one-sided, she caught herself thinking, I gave them everything. I gave them life. I gave them love. And yet, here I am, forgotten. Her hands shook as she held old photographs, birthday cards, school projects. Her own son's handwriting mocked her silently from the pages. The day she realized, it wasn't a single event. It was 1,000 small cuts. The lunch invitations she never received. The phone calls that went unanswered. The holidays spent alone while her sons lived lives she helped build. And then she realized, she wasn't needed anymore. Her love, her sacrifices, her entire life. Now invisible. Silence speaks louder. Nights were worse. She'd lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment she could have done something different. But it wasn't her fault. It was theirs. Life had changed them. And she was left behind. A box of memories and regrets. One rainy afternoon, she opened an old box. Inside, things she had saved for decades. Handmade cards, birthday photos, certificates, tiny toys. She ran her fingers over them, smiling through tears. And then she whispered to the empty room, I did my best. I really did. No one heard her. No one ever would. End of part 3, Turning Point. From that day on, she stopped reaching out. No more calls. No more texts. No more waiting for visits. She became quiet. She became small. She became almost invisible. But inside, her heart still beat for them. And that love, that endless love, was about to meet its hardest test yet. Days passed like shadows. Amina woke up to an empty kitchen, empty rooms, and the silence that echoed louder than any voice ever could. She'd check her phone every hour. No calls. No messages. Just silence. Constant, suffocating silence. When the body starts to give up. Her knees hurt when she got out of bed. Her back screamed with every movement. Sometimes she'd drop a plate or spill tea on the floor. Each minor mishap felt like a reminder. Her body was failing. And worse, her sons weren't there to notice. The phone she didn't want to pick up. One evening, Amina's phone rang. Her heart leapt. It was her oldest son. Hey, Mom, how's it going? She froze. Her hands shook. She wanted to answer, to shout, to cry, but she didn't. She let it go to voicemail. Sometimes silence feels safer than disappointment. Nurses and neighbors. A kind neighbor noticed her struggle. A nurse occasionally checked in. But no matter how much help she received, it wasn't the same. Her sons were supposed to be there, not strangers. It hurt more than the aching knees, more than the blurred vision, more than the sleepless nights. A mother's last bit of pride. Amina refused to burden anyone. She cooked her own meals, did her own laundry, kept her house tidy. Every night she whispered a prayer. If they remember me, let it be today. If they don't, I'll be okay. Her lips said it, but her eyes betrayed her. The moment of collapse. One afternoon, while watering her plants, Amina's legs gave out completely. She fell, hitting the floor. Pain shot through her body, but the worst was the silence around her. No one was there. No one was coming. No one would even know for hours. She closed her eyes, exhausted, and thought, maybe this is it. Maybe they never needed me. The waiting room feeling. Days turned into nights. Nights turned into weeks. She became a shadow in her own home. The walls, once comforting, now mocked her. She sat by the window, watching life pass by outside. Kids playing with their parents. Couples walking hand in hand. Neighbors laughing. Her sons? gone, living their new lives, forgetting the woman who raised them. The final realization. She understood something painful. Love isn't always returned. Sacrifice isn't always remembered. And sometimes, no matter how much you give, people move on without you. Amina had reached the deepest point of loneliness. But her love, her unconditional, endless love, still burned strong. And that love would soon face its ultimate test. Amina's breathing was shallow that morning. The sunlight barely made it through the curtains. Her house, once filled with life, was silent. She picked up her phone, almost hoping, praying, for one of her sons to call. Ring. Ring. Nothing. Still, no one. The call that came too late. Around mid-morning, her older son finally called. Mom? Are you okay? She tried to speak. Her voice barely came out. I'm fine. She didn't want to sound weak. She didn't want to beg. But deep down, she was broken. He realized something was off. Mom? Mom? By the time he arrived at her house, she was already on the floor. The panic hit him like a freight train. He screamed her name. He shook her. He held her hands. Cold. Mom, don't do this. I'm here. I'm here. Her eyes fluttered open briefly. A tiny, frail smile crossed her face. You finally came. The room full of regret. Her sons were both there now. Rushing, crying, holding her hands, whispering apologies. I'm so sorry, Mom. I should have called. I should have visited. I should have been there. She looked at them, eyes tired but filled with love. It's okay. I just wanted you to be happy. No anger. No blame. Just love, unconditional, pure, and forgiving. The letter she left behind. Later that night, after she passed, her sons found a letter on the kitchen table. My dear sons, if you're reading this, I'm not there anymore. I never wanted to guilt you. I just wanted to love you. Please remember, love isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up. Love each other and never forget where you came from. Mom. They sat on the floor, reading, crying. They realized all the time they wasted, all the moments they missed, could never be regained. The moment of true regret. They held each other, grieving their mother, but also grieving themselves. I didn't even know she was hurting this much. I never realized. I thought she'd always be there, but she wasn't. She never would be again. The house was quiet, but the weight of regret filled every corner. The final lesson. Sometimes love waits forever. Sometimes patience can hold a mountain of pain. But forgiveness can't always bring someone back. Amina gave everything she had. And in the end, all she wanted was a call. A visit. A little recognition from the sons she loved beyond measure. And even though they came, it was too late. Her sons learned the hardest lesson of their lives. Never take your mother's love for granted. Never wait to tell someone you care. Because one day, you might be too late. And somewhere, Amina's spirit smiled softly. Not angry. Not resentful. Just at peace. Because even in their regret, she was still their mother. And she always would be.